Hi everyone, and welcome to the next episode in the Casually Avid Gamers Minecraft for Beginners series. I'm really glad you're here, and I'm really kind of excited about what we're going to do today. It's pretty neat, haven't done anything like it before, and if you look over here, you get kind of a hint at what we're going to be doing. We are doing what I'm calling the Beginner's Bestiary, where we are going to talk about each of the standard mobs that you'll come across in the game of Minecraft. Now, we won't be talking about the boss level mobs, things like ender dragons or withers. We'll just be talking about your standard everyday mobs that you're going to run across. However, we are going to go a little bit in depth on each mob. So we're actually going to split this series up into 3 parts, and we'll deal with just a few of these guys at a time, and we'll learn not only what they look like in their names, but we're going to learn a little bit about possible ways of dealing with them, as well as if they drop anything special, what they might drop. So I'm excited to get started, and I hope you are too, and so let's jump right into it. Okay. I'm in creative mode, that's why these guys aren't trying to maul me to death. And in here we've got our 3 basic types of zombie. We've got your standard zombie, we've got your zombie villager, and we've got your, I call them munchkin zombies. They're all kind of stock baddies that you'll see a lot. There isn't really much of a difference between this guy and this guy. Save that if you give one of these guys a golden apple and then protect them long enough and keep them from killing you, they will eventually turn back into a regular villager. So if you can't find a village and you need a villager, that's one thing you can do. These guys are very fast, and actually here in a second I'm going to turn my game mode over to survival, and so you can see kind of how they move. Zombies are your stock bad guy. They're not a whole lot to worry about. Shoot them with a bow, hit them with your sword. The only trick about zombies is that see how fast he is? Given the opportunity, they will call to other zombies in the area. And so if you don't kill a zombie quick enough, within a couple of seconds you'll start seeing some of his buddies coming from over the horizon, and you can get into some pretty long fights if you're not wiping the zombies out quick enough. So, all right, let's just turn this bad boy over into the next game mode, or into survival, and we'll see how fighting these bad boys go. Game mode 0. And there's not much to these guys. He's faster, so he's usually your priority. But kind of kiting them like this, they don't do a ton of damage. Zombies aren't that big of a deal. Not by any stretch of the imagination. Here we have a couple of skeletons. They are also one of the more common bad guys in the game. Skeletons are far more dangerous than zombies because, they shoot arrows. They don't walk up to you and hit you. They move slowly, but their arrows don't. And so they can hit you from kind of a ways away, which makes them tricky, especially if you're up on a high ledge or near lava or stuck in water, because unless you have depth strider boots, you don't move fast in water. So you can't get close enough to a skeleton to actually hit them with your sword when you're in the water. So be careful, be aware of your surroundings when dealing with a skeleton. And if you're going to have to fight them, try to use cover. Put some kind of piece of scenery between you and the skeleton. And then that way he has to move around it before he can shoot you. And that gives you time to actually get a lot closer, so when you finally can see him, you can start hitting him immediately. In here's not so good because, well, there's no cover. So the other good way of dealing with skeletons is shooting them as well. You can shoot at a much longer range than skeletons can. So if you've got the arrows, shooting is probably the safest. So let's drop it into another game mode, or into the survival game mode, and see how this goes. Game mode 0. And then... oh, he got me. And you can block. And notice how when you get hit, it knocks you back a step, which is more than enough to knock you out of a water stream or knock you off a ledge. It's just dangerous. So if you've got no cover to help you get close to him, usually your best bet is to wait till he shoots and then sprint, then block and sprint again, and then finally you can get close enough. If you fight skeletons, you're going to get shot. So if you're low on health and you see a skeleton, just avoid it. That's probably your best bet. Okay. This is a creeper. If you've watched any of my shows, you know I hate creepers. Here's the thing with creepers. Like, if you listen closely, you'll see they don't make noise at all. They don't make noise when they move. They don't have any vocalizations like zombies or spiders. They don't make clattering sounds like skeletons. They don't make a pitter-patter of little feet when they're moving around. They're utterly quiet. So they can sneak up on you really easy, and they explode. And the thing with the explosions is it destroys blocks around them, and sometimes destroys the block completely. Rather than just breaking it so you can pick it up, it just removes it from the game entirely. Different blocks, like stone, wood, what have you, all have different blast resistances. So stone's pretty good at resisting creeper explosions. But like, say, this glowstone, not at all. It doesn't have much resistance at all. And neither does, say, I don't know, like wood. So creepers blow great big holes in the scenery. So if you've landscaped some part of your base or just the surrounding area, a creeper can put a great big hole in it that you have to go fix. And it's just a hassle. So let's see what kind of devastation a creeper can bring just in a stone room like this. Let's switch the game mode over and see what they do. Game mode 0. Wait till he sees me and he comes over. Now see, that's not too bad. I mean, admittedly, we were in a stone room, and stone is very resistant to explosions. But you see, it broke 4 stone blocks, and there are only 2 left to pick up. So if we wanted to fix the problem, we can do that and that. And if you don't have any other stone blocks on you, well, now there are a couple of holes in your scenery until you can get around to fixing it. It's just a huge hassle. And had we been standing on dirt, the hole would have been much bigger. Or if we'd been standing on wood, the hole again would have been much bigger. So creepers are a huge pain. Oh, and did you also see there was red glass all the way along here, and the creeper destroyed it, and it's completely gone. Creepers suck. Alright, well, I'm going to fix this, and then I'm going to spawn another creeper, and I'll show you guys the easiest ways, in my opinion, to deal with them. First best method of dealing with creepers: shoot them at a distance. If they don't get close to you, they don't explode. So he can, if he sees me, he can come get me. Believe me, that's the easiest thing to do. And let's spawn another one. And then if you don't have the arrows or a bow, The next best way is hit and run until they die. So let's go back to creative so he doesn't immediately try to blow me up. Get that guy there. And what you're going to do with this method is you're going to hit him so he moves away from you, and then you're going to back away immediately, because when you get close enough to hit him, he's going to start fizzing. But if you get far enough away from him before he explodes, he'll actually stop and sort of reset, and then you can repeat that until he dies. So let's go over to survival, game mode 0. Oops. 0. So he's coming for me. I sprint at him, knock him away, and he stops fizzing. Hit him, knock away. And those are really the two best ways of dealing with creepers. And creepers are the main reason when you're building something cool, make sure it's mob proof. Make sure it's resistant to spawning. Either you've got things half slabbed or you've got it lit up and you've got a fence around it or some other way that prevents mobs from walking in, because they can get into your builds two ways. They can be spawned directly in there or they can walk in. Either way, creepers blow stuff up. So avoid them. And if you see one, kill it for me. Down there we have spiders, and of course they're all on the other side of the room for me. Let's see if we can just drop a guy down there. So here we have spiders. I am in creative mode right now, which is why they're not trying to kill me. Now, I've got this ridge of glass running around the room for a very important reason. That's to demonstrate something with spiders. Spiders, as you can see, have no problem climbing walls. They do, however, and they can jump one block high, as you see this guy breakdancing right here. Okay, yeah, that's fun. Get down, bro. That's alright. As you can see, these guys are climbing the wall that's under here in an effort to get out. However, one thing that spiders cannot do is they cannot climb on a ceiling. They cannot climb on the underside of blocks. Thank goodness. So, really, this room right here, spiders can't get out of the lower half of this room because they have no way of climbing on the top of blocks. They can climb up the wall, but the second they move away from it, they're going to fall. So that's one thing you can keep in mind when you're trying to protect a base from spiders. In my opinion, once you're fighting them, spiders aren't much more of a threat than zombies are. However, since spiders can climb on walls, they are very good at maybe just sort of dropping on your head. You know, like if you're not making sure you're paying attention to looking up, it's really easy to miss a spider in the dark up on a wall when you're just walking around. And then they drop on you and they ambush you. But past that, they're not super deadly. The black spiders you run into most everywhere else aren't all that lethal. There are cave spiders that are only spawned in abandoned mine shafts underground, and you can tell them because they have a bluish tint, they're smaller, and they poison you when they bite you, whereas these forest spiders do not. So let's see about killing these guys. I'm going to take it into survival mode so that these guys will try and kill me if they can. And actually, this spot right here, I think if a spider's determined enough, they can probably get out. But mostly this is protected. So let's drop into survival mode. Game mode 0. And now as you see, all these boys rush at me. And they're trying to come up here. Now, one thing to remember about spiders, when they're on the ground, they can jump one block high. So if you've got your ridge just 2 blocks high off the ground, they can jump up and grab onto the end of it. So any overhang you have, hey, thanks, guy. Any overhang you have needs to be at least 2 blocks high, or be done in such a way that they can't jump up to it. Okay, wow, I've taken a lot of damage, so I'm gonna eat some food here. And then the next part, let's just see if we can't kill these bad boys. Oh. They've got a jump attack, which comes a little faster than, say, like the zombie attacks. But, like I said, in combat, they're not much more of a pain than zombies are. See, not too bad at all. It looks kind of like a monstrous United Nations in there, doesn't it? Everybody's represented. Anyway, I wanted to thank you guys for tuning in to get out of my way. For tuning into this first part of our beginner's bestiary. I hope you learned a little bit. I hope dealing with the mobs we talked about comes a little bit easier in the future. And I hope you guys stay tuned and check out our episode next week, and we can keep learning. If you enjoyed this video, and if you had fun, hey, please throw a subscribe or a like my way down below. And if you want to get wild and crazy and you want to share my videos with your friends, hey, please do that. So I hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you next time.